Welcome back, everybody, to the Vainglory China Invitational. We just had our winners match of the semifinals, but now we're going to losers match to find out which of the two between ETW and Delta was going to face off against CNL to find out who's going to the grand finals.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really interesting match because at the top we saw DMG and CNL. They did make it to the winners match, of course, but these two teams did lose to either of those teams. So I feel like we haven't seen these two teams play off against each other, but they could be very evenly matched as well.
That's right. I want to favor Delta. You know, they're the big fan favorites of these two teams, I would say. I feel like Raichu is an incredible Celeste player. Probably going to see that in this matchup as well. For the first part of this, we're going to have a quick little interview. These two guys talk trash and politely insult each other. We don't know exactly how. He's like, I'm gonna wreck you.
That's what he said, for sure.
He's like, what, is that what he said?
Bring it on.
He's like, I'll reflect him like Catherine's barrier. He's like, but actually, I'm playing Arden because they won't ban Arden.
Oh, wolf.
I don't know what he said, but it was intense.
Whoa.
It was a woe-inducing statement. That much we can deduce. So it looks like these two teams are going to go and prepare and get ready before we go into this draft. Now, there could potentially be some downtime as well, as we had that last time for sure. Is that guy one? From the first day?
No.
I didn't think
guy
so,
one
right?
was a bit skinnier, taller.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I got
Yeah.
kind of thrown off there.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like we actually have a different guest on the Chinese desk this time. So I just wanted to see who that was, but I'm not sure who that is, in fact.
But now he's in the middle, so you guys can't see it, but we can still make comments on it. It's funny. They were talking about BBC. Maybe it's someone from BBC.
Could be. It could also be maybe someone from Super Evil Megacorp China.
Could be like Queen's dad or something. They're like, oh, so how did she get into Vainglory? They start interviewing him.
I guess it could be. It could be. I'm like, it could just be a fan from the crowd. He's like, yeah, I really love Vainglory. They're like, hi, yeah, please get him off the stage.
Yeah. How did he get that mic anyway?
He's like, I also just carry mics around, and I found you guys' radio frequency, so I thought
I found a way to hook myself up.
I thought I'd just kind of walk in here and tell you guys how I feel about this. So there he is. We don't know who he is, but in fact, he's giving
special guest.
Special guest.
Yeah.
So we got a shot of that just briefly there. We're not really sure. But everybody's got to get
the music too.
Everyone's got to get their settings set up. They got to, set their volume.
Yeah.
Some devices it's a little bit easier.
You got to close out Reddit. You got to get rid of all those extra tabs.
Yeah, you gotta like if you're on an iPhone, you gotta like double tap the home button and just swipe up like a lot. Keep doing that. All right, let's introduce the players. We're finally ready. No more fill time.
Remix.
Yeah, Remix is ETW's Rome. He's gonna play almost exclusively Arden. I think he might have actually played Catherine once in a tournament. I know we had two Catherines or something with Arden.
Yeah,
here's
Arden
Raichu.
was there.
Raichu, man, he's my favorite Celeste player in this tournament. Insanely powerful Celeste. Also likes to play Taka, but I don't think we'll be seeing any of that in this tournament.
No, we have not yet seen a Taka, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, here we go. Here's Ernst.
Yeah, Ernst was showing us some Celeste. I think he did play Scarf once as well. I believe this is Pikachu. Yeah, Jungle / Roam, showing us mostly either Fortress or Taka, or excuse me, Kashka.
Yeah.
Those two roaming heroes that are very quick.
Do have Glaive there as the guy he does like to play. But over here, giving us a little finger wave, Shifang in the jungle.
Shifeng playing all sorts of heroes, even liking to play Vox in the jungle. And he's looking like he's in a good mood. And our final member of Delta coming in here, it is in fact Hope, who likes to play jungle and roam. We've seen him play a lot of Arden in this tournament, almost exclusively, as he is the one who's kind of setting things up, using those gauntlets. So, things are nearly ready to start here, going into game one. Remember, this is the loser's match. The loser of this match, will actually be eliminated from the tournament. It's their last chance. All right, here we go. Delta. Not AAA Anthony. That still wasn't fixed from yesterday. They are going up. I'm like, it freaked out production so much that we're actually going to even have a camera shot instead of going straight into the other team.
Yeah. Not sure what was going on there. I was getting my mic checked out.
Yeah, it's going a little squiggly over there, I see. Is everything all right?
It seems like it's okay. I'm not exactly sure myself. Seems like everything's okay on production side, so.
No, everything's fine. Everybody relax at home. It's like, I don't know, is this mic is going sideways? The wolf's going up, his is going sideways. Is that okay? Yeah, it's fine, everybody. Every mic is different.
It's okay to be crooked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Still going towards where your voice is coming out. And
yeah, it's all good.
Our mics are synced up. Sometimes our voices might even go into each other's mics, but it's okay because it's perfectly timed. Everything's fine. But because we accidentally had triple A Anthony up there for a second, I guess we're gonna have some downtime before we go to draft.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
Was that actually? I was getting my mics fixed. AAA Anthony was there again.
Yeah.
Just why does this guy keep coming back? Like
he keeps showing up in Delta.
He
keeps showing up in Delta. He's not there.
He's not part. That's Hope. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not AAA Anthony. It's so funny.
AAA Anthony doesn't even play roam. I'm pretty sure he played lane, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe jungle.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
He was knocked out very early.
Anyway, we forgot about him because he's not on Delta.
All right. So, just looking at the Chinese side of things, we've got unique guest still on the desk, and
seems like he's really controlling the panel too. Maybe he is part of BBC and knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool if we had someone from BBC checking out
Vainglory.
Checking out Vainglory, because it's a really cool game, and maybe we can get some additional exposure and some additional coverage as a result. We're going to be jumping into picks very soon. It looks like almost everything is ready and set to go. I see I just checked someone's headset, and now we're good. Fortress going to be banned here.
Hope not wasting any time. Just going to immediately pick Arden.
Raichu, obviously Celeste.
Sky is open, though.
Yeah, Pikachu could be going into that Koshka. We do see, yep, there it is.
There you go, Wolf.
We could see Adagio picked up here for the first time.
Way.
Or actually second time. They did use him once before, now that I think about it.
Did they really?
Yeah, in the first series of the entire tournament, they did use him. And they are going to use him again. It's going to be Adagio, Koshka, and Arden. So we're going to see a little bit more of a unique matchup here in the lane. I'm kind of excited.
Oh, I'm very excited. I don't get to see that same matchup over and over and over again. This is going to be very interesting, to say the least. I don't exactly know what the idea is behind it. If I remember correctly, it didn't work out too well for them.
Yeah, well, they missed a few of his ults, which obviously can be a great stun if you actually have his talent applied to his enemies that get stuck into that. It could be a multi-stun. Unfortunately, it's very easy to avoid if you are expecting it to come.
I mean,
you can just simply walk out of it.
Yeah, if you theory craft, it's like Koshka's going to be able to lock down someone a decent amount of time. Remix with his gauntlet, of course, is going to lock everybody into a similar sized AoE area. So it does go well with the composition, but at the same time, so does Celeste and so does Sky. So those are like the two top tier, even Scarf is up there. Why are you going to go for Adagio instead? It seems like they have some specific plan in mind.
Adagio is really easy to lane with. He's similar to Ringo in that he can kind of bully in the early game as long as he doesn't get hit by that core collapse. But overall, he's just going to be able to last hit even during pressure really easily with his A. He actually is under a lot of pressure right now, but his A can also be a sustain that he can use to heal himself.
Yeah. You can just sit back and heal, or you can use it, as you said, to do a bit of damage.
It's like a potion, like
Yeah.
that you constantly have that scales into the late game as well.
The big thing I would say is, like, I don't think he's really going to bully Raichu out here. I suppose he can with that heal, as you were talking about, but more so it's like, if Raichu tried to bully him out, he would just never go down, because he's going to have double potion, and he's going to have all those heals. So even if Raichu wasted all of his energy trying to kill Ernst, it's not going to happen.
That's never going to happen. That's what I'm saying. It's just so easy to lane with him. Pikachu taking a lot of early damage here. And actually, Ernst is coming down as well. Unfortunately, a bit late to the party. I think Pikachu should be able to escape. And the fight is going to turn around. Hope taking a bit of that burn damage there from Adagio. But no one is dying. And everyone's just going to return to their respective positions.
At the same time, Ernst able to pick up some boots and a blazing salvo here. Just get a bit more attack speed. Wouldn't be surprised if he does go into alternating current.
Yeah.
Pretty common item for a laning Adagio.
Pikachu building 2 shields, as well as some crystal bits as well. And we do see Hope actually starting to get pretty large amount of gold. Has not actually gone to buy. You can see that Blazing Salvo makes the attack speed so significant in this early game.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to see a big fight here potentially. And Pikachu and Hope are going to have to disengage because it's going to cost them their small minions here. Pumpkin minions.
Pumpkin minions.
Well, they're not really pumpkin minions. Because there's also pumpkins here, which I forgot about.
If they changed the minions to be like pumpkin, or at least, you know.
Ooh,
Halloween.
Core Collapse here and a Heliogenesis. And even with the heal, I'm not so sure Ernst is getting out of this one. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't do enough damage either for, I think, for Zhifeng to actually fall. But he's going to try. I'm like, that's a good crowd shot, but now's not the time. Okay, Hope taking a lot of damage. Zhifeng trying to get that kill. He might be able to jump in one more time.
Maybe. I think he may be able to go for it and get out alive. It would be so hard to land a Core Collapse onto Koshka, but just going to play it safe, not going to jump in too crazily.
Do you remember the name of the Koshka player we saw do insane plays like that yesterday?
Wong.
Yeah, Wong. He would have done it 100%.
Oh yeah, he's that kind of player. I feel like Zhifeng is more solid, just going to sit back and make the good plays, not go too crazy.
Well, Ernst did get picked off there, which is the obviously big thing to note. But they do have a gold lead, and he has just a few lost CS from that death timer, basically. He's still staying pretty even with Raichu.
Yeah, it was just a good setup for a gank there. They identified that all the members of ETW were in the jungle, and they set up shop in the lane bush of ETW and just waited for Ernst to come back to lane, and were able to pick up an easy kill.
Well, things still kind of calming down here for a moment. We see a big gathering of Delta at the shop on their way down to those small minions to the south of the jungle. No one is there to contest them, so this is going to be a little bit more of a passive time here. Raichu again eating some of that burn damage, but did actually buy some health and will eventually build towards getting out that reflex block.
Oh man, they have Pikachu hitting 6, but he's not going towards the lane. He's not trying to find any picks. I don't know, this is like a major time for Koshka to do work.
Yeah, and Zhifeng now hit 6 as well.
Yeah,
and
you
she's
see that
aggressively
ETW,
moving towards it.
Yeah, they're looking for it. They're looking for the invades. They're going to be able to catch out anyone here. That does get close.
And if they see that there's no one there, they could even potentially try to go for the gold mine. Looks like they're not that greedy.
They were thinking about it, but yeah, this is safe to play.
Gonna push the lane out. Here comes that grab right onto Raichu. Raichu getting down to half health and may actually fall here. Down he goes, and Hope is getting low as well. Zhifeng taking some damage, but will actually be able to pick up that second kill. It's actually Arden who gets the kill, not Zhifeng. And Pikachu is just going to have to sit under turret here, and this will give them an easy gold mine, I feel, if they go straight for it.
Yeah, should be able to. It's going to be a long time before Raichu and Hope do come back. And let's see what Pikachu can do. He has no ultimate, of course, but he could try to go for the steal.
Just a bit too slow.
Yeah. Not quite getting it.
It's tough to steal versus Adagio as well because his burn just does that damage constantly. So getting a last hit in between those little tiny cycles of damage is very, very difficult. It's really tough to steal those.
He also chunks it with his auto attack with his B.
Yeah.
Once he is hitting a target that has been burned by his heal.
Yeah. So, well, we're definitely seeing, you know, a slight lead here starting to really manifest in ETW, and I think some of it definitely comes down to the more aggressive Koshka play like you were talking about, with Xifeng was able to capitalize on that ult, whereas we saw Pikachu was very late, Raichu got jumped on, and he was basically removed from the fight right away, and that's so much of their damage just gone down the drain.
That was the one fight where they were able to get a Koshka ult free onto Celeste. Like, that's the obvious best target. It's always going to be Celeste, but they were able to force that fight before he picked up his reflex block. Now he does have it, and I think the main target's going to be probably Pikachu instead, because you delay his ultimate as well.
And Pikachu doesn't, you know, is not that tanky. I mean, he has built some shields, obviously, but definitely not, you know, as large of a health pool as someone like Arden, for example. And Raichu's usually going to be at the back and has that reflex block, as you mentioned.
Kind of interesting that Urs does go for that Frostburn first. It's going to offer, you know, an even larger slow on a seal, I suppose, and
Xifeng getting caught here and also getting stunned, which means he will get burst down. That's the exact situation you were just talking about. A Solar Storm goes down. It's a bit wasted. We do see Adagio drops his ult, but it's not going to be enough to save, or rather turn the fight. It may be enough to save him. They're actually going to re-engage here, trying to go for Raichu, because they are fighting under the gold mine, and that gold mine is doing a lot of extra damage. Hope is getting very low from that Adagio burn.
And they're all so slow because of the Frostburn. It's insane. And now he's going to be able to chunk down.
Pikachu, and there he does get it. And he might actually go for the chase on Raichu here. He's got to be careful. Core Collapse is on cooldown, but he doesn't know that. But the gold mine remains their biggest ally, the jungle turret, as I like to call it. And that was a nice turnaround, very smartly played by ETW.
Yeah, just identifying the fact that Adagio would be so strong against all those members who weren't quite full health. And if you could just begin to get, you know, if you get your heal off and burn even just like a couple of those guys, you're going to be chunking them down so quick. Adagio is one of those guys where you may underestimate him, but then once he starts hitting you, you're like, oh, I have to take this guy seriously.
Yeah, especially with the slow you were talking about. And when you were talking about a slow versus, you know, two melee heroes, Pikachu and Hope, they're not able to go in and do their damage, so you kind of have this Adagio that's kiting. He does that Blazing Salvo, so his auto attack, you know, speed is quite quick as well, so you do start to take some serious damage.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if attacks that are buffed by Adagio's B, do they slow as well because of Frostburn? I don't actually have enough experience playing Adagio to know.
That's a good point. I've played a lot of Adagio, but I don't always build this way, so I don't actually know, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I would say probably no, but I'm not 100% sure. Like,
yeah,
I might say
it look like it. I'm looking at the minions. It doesn't look like they're getting slowed.
It's like Adagio's quote. He's like, possibly no. All right, yes. Such a fun character. Well, we are seeing some posturing here at the gold mine. Also, Remix is really trying to plant those scout traps, which I'm not entirely sure why.
He's just like baiting him in. He doesn't even have a scout trap. He's like, you want to attack me? I got my turret here. My buddy, Mr. Goldmine. Okay, there we go. Putting the minion candy.
Yeah, that's what he was going for. I was wondering about that. Just really posturing around that location over and over.
Yeah, well, it is nearing completion, so they do want to protect it for, you know, to make sure they do get that 300 gold.
We said this, not yesterday, but the day before on Friday, that the way ETW often plays with a lead is very systematic, and I think we're just seeing kind of that sort of take place here again. They kind of have this way of doing things, like they're following a recipe.
Yeah.
You could even see it with Xifeng moving out. As soon as he got 6, he went for the attack. Even though they didn't really have vision, he was just like, well, this is what I do now. Ooh, a ton of damage actually there going down, but Xifeng does get hit by that core collapse. A wasted gauntlet, though.
They wanted that grab on Xifeng, but not going to work. But I do like what you're saying. You do see this in a lot of other MOBAs as well, this kind of suffocating style of play, where it's very, very solid. You're not going for the big plays. You're not flashy at all. You're not the most fun team to watch, to be honest, as well.
Yeah.
But you win one fight, you get ahead, and you turn that one fight into getting a gold mine, or getting, you know, just a couple more minions in the jungle, or, you know, pushing a guy out of lane with some pressure, or stuff like that.
Almost cheesy to say, but it's almost like the butterfly effect, you know, like this one
it
advantage
is.
just starts to blow everything else out of proportion, and you just don't overdo what your advantage is, and you get larger and larger advantages. We're going to see a nice reflex block to escape this gauntlet by Raichu, but he actually walks back into it. Oopsie daisy. Luckily for him, it doesn't end up mattering.
Xifeng could be looking for an ultimate. Doesn't look like it, just gonna invade the jungle instead. That's one thing you always like to do. Force a reflex block to be used on Gauntlet so that you can follow up with Yummy Catnip Frenzy from Koshka.
That's right. For those of you guys who don't know, that's her ult.
Yes. She has some pretty fun ability names.
Yeah.
I always forget what her B is. It's twirling something, but the A is Pouncy Fun, I think.
The B is Twirling Whirl, I believe.
Could be. Could be.
By the way, I just want to point out again, talking about small advantages, we saw this from Susu especially, I would say, more than anyone else, but in this game we're seeing it from Remix, is just tons of scout trap coverage throughout the entire jungle. When you get ahead, you know, spend some of that extra money that you get from the gold mine on these scout traps, and then suddenly you have vision of the entire map. Look at the map. There's no single bush or any single point of transit that Delta can take that ETW is not going to know about. They know everything. They have all vision. They're all seeing, all knowing.
And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was thinking about the play style of ETW, you know, just this suffocating style. They don't play the Chinese meta, you know?
Yeah.
We talked about yesterday the Chinese meta is to, when you get a lead, go ahead and try to outplay your opponents and die and give the lead back.
Yeah.
But ETW is the exact opposite. They play like Korean teams, which is just, you know, when you get ahead, get more ahead, sit back, play the game to the best of your ability in terms of just not making any mistakes.
Would you see just that ETW with this moment here is just kind of trying to sweep. Looks like they're almost even sweeping for scout traps to remove vision with this move out. They're not actually trying to even steal any of the jungle farm. There's not much to take. They're going to grab this. So they look for a jungle farm, but also just the way they walked. And they tried to take out some scout traps. A good opportunity, though, as Delta realizes, like, what are you guys doing? You guys already have the gold mine. What are you doing in the jungle? They're actually going to get a turret, but is it going to cost them? Whoa, a ton of things happening at once. We do see a huge gauntlet catching many of the members of Delta, and will they pay for that turret with their lives? Xifeng goes down first, so maybe they can even take a fight with this. Pikachu taking a lot of damage, just trying to body block Remix here a little bit. And Ernst is taking damage as well, having to kite back, using that Blazing Salvo, auto attack damage. And the turret is going to chunk down two members here. Hope is going to die as well. But they get the ace first, so Raichu will live. And what a crazy fight that ended up being.
Yeah, Raichu with his patented, a very strong Celeste play, able to clean up everybody there towards the end.
Xifeng is coming for him, though. A very slow death timer still. I think he stayed way too long. Maybe he was hearing the chants of the crowd.
Yeah.
He got a bit hyped, but...
I think that's exactly what happened. I don't know if he heard the chants, but he's definitely feeling good after that ace there by himself. And yeah, you know, he could have even gone back and tried to get the gold mine, stuff like that. He wasn't doing much, just pushing the lane. Either way, that's going to keep ETW in this game able to get that kill, and they will secure the gold mine once again.
That fight, though, definitely did catch Delta up quite a bit. Unfortunately for them, like you said, without being able to retake the gold mine, it's going to be 900 more gold ahead that ETW gets. And look at this scout trap coverage. Insane. Actually, they don't get the full gold mine because the Kraken comes up and takes 4 of that gold away. Kraken's like, give me those 4 pennies.
Puts it in her pocket.
She's like, yeah, I got those pennies. Got that sound effect going on.
She's purring. She likes it, yeah.
Well, we are going to see a big push on this turret here. Adagio can help push minion waves really well, but he's not like Celeste. He's not like Sky. He can't actually burst down a turret very quickly. But he does help the minions do just that.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this Adagio so far in this game. You know, like, it does immense, you know, sustained damage over the course of a team fight. You have so many auto attacks that are chunking your opponents, but as you can see, already double Aegis built. 1 on Pikachu, 1 on Raichu. We have double Fountain of Renewal as well, which means that neither Pikachu nor Hope is going to go down, but here we go.
We're going to have a big fight here, big stuns coming in. Well, let's see how this fight turns out at the end of the day. A massive stun on all of Delta. A huge, big storm coming down, though. Raichu just barely able to escape. Erst nearly escapes, but a good move there by Pikachu to lock him down. It looks like this might actually be an ace here. Remix trying to kill Raichu. Not going to be successful, and now with that ace regen, that ace buff, they will be able to push down the lane. They could go for Kraken here as well. It looks like that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
With all members alive, it makes sense.
You can just see it right there. ETW ahead in gold. Okay, they're ahead in gold, right? They get the perfect engage. Literally, the gauntlet catches all but two. The others, like right on the edge, can't come in. The Adagio ult hits everyone with the stun. The Crucible misses, which is kind of a misplay by Hope, but it just doesn't matter. They have too much sustain, too much shield by this time in the game, and that Adagio pick is very questionable because they have no weapon power damage, and they're just getting owned when it's 3-on-3.
They're getting, yeah, straight countered by the Aegis, the Crystal Defense. Shields, if you want to be technical. But, I just, I have to agree with you, and I feel like this could snowball out of control, this push itself, because they have Celeste. They have that sieging power that ETW did not when they took that ace just earlier before.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like ETW has no chance. You know, they got as good an engagement as you could possibly have.
We're going to see a big attempt here. Xifeng gets locked down. He will escape for a little bit longer. And we actually have that Fountain of Renewal keeping him alive. Now he gets stunned again, and he and Remix go down together to that Heliogenesis. And now Ernst is the last man standing in what is a crazy camera shot here as we see that shink, shink, shink Pikachu claws taking him out. And that will actually be game here. Delta will take game number 1.
Yeah, very well done. I think just a better understanding of their composition, very standard. They were also running double crystal power as well, but it was not nearly as heavily countered on the other side by ETW.
Yeah, and that's all she wrote for game number 1.